Investment zone number 16, City of Houston. Do we have any board members present on Zoom? I'm thinking not. Any members of the public present on Zoom? No? Okay. First order of business is to approve the minutes from the June 25th, 2025 meeting. If I could have a motion, please. Lisa, second.
Second.
In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. All right. Next, we are going to suspend the reinvestment zone meeting, and we will call to order the Uptown Development Authority meeting. No board members on Zoom. Members of the public present on Zoom. Any comments from the public?
I just have one little notice to everyone. Hi, my name is Margaret Dunlap. I'm Senior Public Affairs Representative for Metro. Just wanted to give you a quick update. We will be doing, and I just got the notice, supporting all those voters that are going to perform their civic duties. So from Monday, October the 20th through Friday, October 31st for early voting, and this is early voting. So prior to election day. So Metro will provide for you rides to those polling locations. We'll probably send you or send Delia media so that it can be sent out to all your constituents. Monday, Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then on Sunday from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. We also will offer free rides on the actual election day as well, and that will again start from 7 to 7. So that's one of the greatest updates. Thank you for supporting Metro. We know your safety is paramount, and we're continuing, as you know, providing you safety, and that's the number one issue right now, that we continue to grow our safety component under Metro Now. And so with our new chief of police, I'm going to keep up with the ends now next. And so our new chief of police is definitely a phenomenal person and a dynamic speaker, and he's doing great work with our NPD. I guess you all know that with people coming around, we're also supporting and gathering and doing and very much in the conversation because of the transportation and all that's taking place. Our safety is increasing with all the other organizations throughout the region because of so many visitors that we will have. So Metro is on board and working on that respect as well as cleaning up our city with the city of Houston. You probably have heard a lot of what we're doing with the city of Houston, but that's in preparation of this big event that's come to Houston. So we want to present the most beautiful city, and I think it's working. If any of you know organizations that want to be partaking to clean up the city, let me know. I will be glad to take your name or the organization's name to help on that day. And there's going to be a really big cleanup that's going to take place. So we're hoping that if any of you do know someone or organizations that want to partake, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to provide that list upward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Next order of business is to approve the minutes of the June 25th, 2025 meeting. Could I have a motion, please? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Shannon, let's have the quarterly investment report.
Okay, thank you, sir. The first page of this quarterly investment report is for the reporting period of April 1st through June 30th, 2025, which was the end of our FY25 fiscal year. The first page outlines the different funds and the deposits that we have with the different banks. Our capital projects fund had with the Capital Bank just over $370,000. Regions Bank, which is our primary depository now, had just over $1.18 million for a total of $1.5 million in those capital projects funds. Our infrastructure funds, which are those funds tied to our trustee with the tax increment from the city of Houston. For the infrastructure fund, we had just over $56 million. As you will know, that's when we got in over $36 million of our tax increment from the city of Houston and ISD. We usually get that right at the end of the fiscal year. And also with affordable housing, those are also increment funds for affordable housing. We had just over $478,000 for a total of $6.7 million. The next page, oh yeah, and we also have Texas Capital Bank, that's 6.2 million, which is the debt reserve funds for those housing proceeds, housing funds. On the second page, based on the deposits that we have, we tell you whether it has adequate pledge collateral or if it's invested in approved investments per our investment policy. And we are sufficiently collateralized for our demand deposits. And for those things that are in investments, they're in treasury kinds of investments, which are approved under our investment policy. The middle section talks about the compliance portion for training every 2 years. Michael Moore, as the investment officer, has training due in April 26, so we are in compliance there. And then the last section is just a listing of approved brokers and banks that we deal with. Are there questions or concerns about the quarterly report?
Questions? Well, okay, Shannon, let's stick with you to review some invoices for approval.
Okay, thank you. On page 6, we have our roster for invoice approvals. You'll note that we have our reimbursements to the district to the tune of just over $137,000, and that is for the administrative and the project management services that the district offers the TIRZ. For our UDA contract work orders and payments, you'll see we had current payments of just over $82,000, and you see those consultants listed there. I will note that while we were not meeting for July and August, you guys authorized just $150,000, and I'll show that we paid just over $78,000 in invoices for that time we were out. And last but not certainly not least are some contract payments that we have. You'll see that we're paying now the $1 million for the FY26 ecological restoration payment to Memorial Park, which is in our CIP. You'll see also that we have received the invoice for our FY26 maintenance agreement, green space payments, to just over $1.8 million. And then lastly, you'll see that we have $200,000 listed to pay to Houston Arboretum Nature Center for our developer agreement for FY26. All in all, we have just over $3.3 million of payments and or contract payments for your review and approval.
Would you mind taking a minute just to walk us through how we got to where we are in perspective of the park and kind of what that means for the future? I think it's important for the board to hear that.
Right. And if I miss anything, Shannon, please jump in. With our financial advisor, Shannon went back and we took a look. We briefed on Memorial Park. We have a tri-party agreement with Memorial Park. We paid somewhere around $78 million to the park, and the park has leveraged that like almost 2-to-1 private dollars, public dollars, to help rebuild Memorial Park. We still have a lot of payments more to do through 2041. It was when we were first looking at numbers and we were doing the projections out to 2041, we weren't going to make it. We went back with our financial advisor, Shannon went back. We basically stripped it down and rebuilt the numbers back up. We were missing 2 things. We were missing the interest on our reserve fund, the $16 million we have set aside for our bonds. And then there were some double payments or double counting of housing dollars. We redid it. We went back. It looks like we will be able to, with growth coming, we got to have some growth. We would be able to honor the tri-party agreement throughout the life of the TIRZ, what we owe Memorial Park, but we won't be able to do it in the years that we said we would. For example, you got $16 million, like I said, in our debt reserve fund. We can't touch most of that till it has to sit there as a backstop to our debt payments. But at the end, it's freed up, which can pay a lot of the capital, what we owe in capital costs and also maintenance costs to Memorial Park. This $1 million you see in ecological restoration, that's part of $5 million that's owed ecological restoration. It was all supposed to be paid in 1 year through the contract. We're spreading the $1 million We're spending $5 million over numerous years and putting $1 million, $1 million a year over 5 years. We might have to spread that even. We might have to come down to 750,000, 500,000, depending on what we get in our increment each year. There's a lot that goes into it. We've got to, we had a higher litigation settlement than we usually do. We usually have about 5.8% of total increment goes to litigation settlement. This was over 11% in litigation settlement this year. It will be higher. My projection is it'll be higher next year by about 7 or 8%. Let's hope it's lower. Then we have to come down on what we can pay Memorial Park that year. But we're still probably about, I'm guessing, don't hold me to this exact number, but we're about 50 to 60 million more in investment for Memorial Park from now to 2045. We're hoping we can honor the tri-party agreement that the city and we signed into with Memorial Park and the Kinder Foundation. But we will not be able to make those obligations in the year we thought. Did that make sense? Okay, I didn't clarify.
Yeah, is it fair to say that the other parties to the tri-party agreement understand?
They do. I wouldn't say they're totally happy with it because
That wasn't my question.
yeah, they understand. There you go.
You know, I didn't expect happiness,
They
but
do.
they're aware of it. So there's not any issue in future years. And we say, remember when we talked about this? Well, now we're not going to be able to do this.
Correct. They are. Now, I would say this, you're a member of the Standards Committee for Memorial Park. We've got 2 members. Louis Sklar is still on the Standards Committee until 27, and then Steve's on it. There are probably some education of certain members on the Standards. I would say majority of the Standards Committee understands what's going on, but there's still some Standards Committee.
I think it's important for them all to know. I mean, this is one of those things that we don't want anybody in a later year saying, well, I didn't know about that. You did know about that.
And I will also say this, because we're honoring our commitment to Memorial Park and the tri-party agreement, besides some small developer agreements that will come up, all these projects are going to want something. We're not going to be able to give them everything that they want, but sidewalks around their property, different structures the city might build when they build their projects. But we still have projects on the books that we wanted to do when the TIRZ started. We will not be able to get to these projects. Basically, the big projects in Uptown are done.
So. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Got a flow.
No, good.
The consequences if we don't meet our obligation, I mean, we're gonna delay it, we're gonna meet it. Okay, I mean, there's no consequences as far as to anybody, I guess, and should we, in the agreement, like sometimes you do a buy, sell, and real estate, there's no, is there anything in the agreement that covers the fact that we may not be able to meet it as planned?
In the agreement, it basically says of available increment. So it basically states that
That's good.
yeah, of available income.
So in that sense, the way I look at it, it's their claim is subordinate or beyond, below the obligations of the bondholders.
Correct.
Those are first, second, and third. Okay. And so, Michael, I think it's fair to say that you sat down with the financial advisors to say, okay, how do we make all this work? Is there anything left over? Is there any available income? Right? Because when you do these projections that show a negative, there is no negative. We can't go negative. We don't have the money. That literally means you don't have the money to pay.
Which you start having to pull some projects off, or you have to reduce ecological restoration, or you have to reduce green space maintenance. The number one thing we have to cover is green space maintenance.
Because we don't want for anybody to spend all this money and then not have any money to pay for maintenance, because that's a bad problem.
The worst thing that could happen is the park, grass not getting cut, the park not being clean, and Memorial Park Conservancy having to go back to the city and say, we need money for maintenance. That would not be
So the increase that you're hoping is all this new stuff, right?
It's
Yes.
important.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah, so we should be happy if we have a hard time finding a parking spot.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, that's a
Do that.
Ladies, all together.
That's a good, yeah.
That's a silver
And we should
lining.
do everything we can as a district, a UDA, a TIRZ to help them be successful.
Michael, one just minor technical question. The interest on the reserve funds, do we get to keep those, spend it, or is it added to the reserve?
Correct me if I'm wrong. What it is added to, the balance that we can, that pays each year. So that it might reduce the amount that comes through from the increment each year that goes into that fund. It might reduce it.
So if you have,
$700,000.
if you
It's a
get
real
interest
number.
that causes that reserve fund to go above the reserve requirement, it flows back into the debt service
Okay, so
fund.
we can use it for that.
Use it for debt service, and then
That's a great answer.
fewer dollars you
The
have to
increment that you
transfer.
get.
Okay.
So
Better said than what I said.
Aren't you, no, you're a CPA, you're not a lawyer. Are you a lawyer?
I'm a lawyer.
Oh, that's why she
But-
talks so good.
Thank you. I'm so flattered because I'm terrible at numbers.
That case, never mind.
I said it in words.
You did.
Thank you.
Okay, right. Any other questions about that? I just want to make sure everybody had the chance to kind of hear that story because it is important. Because we can't fund it as currently scheduled.
And so we're also looking at it as we're not looking at it as a 1-year budget or a 5-year budget. We're looking at the entire from now until 2041. We know what the expenses are going to be to a certain degree because it's written in the tri-party agreement. We're guessing on what the growth is going to be, but it hadn't been a lot of growth lately. Some areas have gone up and then like office has been going down. We're doing our best to project it.
Any other questions about that? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, back to Shannon, we do have to, we need a motion to pay those invoices.
Please.
I'll make a motion to pay the invoice.
Okay,
as
so
presented.
Lisa, second, please.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Good. All right, we're gonna pick the Shannon one more time.
Right. Thank you. And starting on page 8, you have your MWDBE and SBE expenditures for the month. Top part of this first page just looks at cumulative, the TIRZ from 99 through August of 25, and you can see with a professional goal of 24%, we've more than exceeded that with MWDBE, SBE expenditures of 41% cumulatively. Likewise, 17% construction goal. We've maintained 24% cumulative. The bottom half is just this fiscal year that we are just starting. There are no construction expenditures. We finished the Wilson's Gully. We did meet the 17%. And I expect that the next construction will be on the Trellis Bridge and we'll track that project. But for professional services, the invoices that we've received year to date are 40% MWDBE with a 24% goal. And then the following page just gives a little bit more information where you have DBE and or prime, and then just some graphical depictions of the percentages for the first 3 months.
The company has to be owned by, can't remember what all those letters. stand for.
Yes, it's minority, women, small business, yeah.
So we
It
need
has
more
to
of
be
them in
on.
construction.
Yes,
Like
well,
that.
we don't have any construction payments.
Yeah,
We did
okay.
for Wilson's Gully, and I don't expect that we'll have one until we start with the Trellis Bridge project.
Okay, any questions? All right, let's move on. We're now going to talk about the audit. We have Jeff Steve from Farland, Jersey, and England here to present a summary of where we are.
Yep.
Jessica?
Sure. So we met last week with the audit committee to go through these 2 documents that you have in front of you. We started going through the independent auditor's report where we are expressing a modified opinion over the 2025 financial statements of the authority, okay? And a modified opinion that is a clean opinion under U.S. generally accepted accounting principles. As part of that discussion, we walked through the 2 set of financial statements that are included on your report. you have the government-wide financial statements and the fund financial statements, and we went through the reconciliation between the two bases. We also walked through the supplementary information that is included on your report, starting with the management discussion and analysis, the budget versus actual, as well as the schedule that is required by the city of Houston, the schedule of operating expenditures, capital expenditures, and project plan reconciliation. Okay, so we went through all of the schedules at length. Then we also talked about the accounting standards. There was one specific GASB that was effective this year. And we also talk about a few others that are gonna be effective next year and how they might impact the report. We are expecting them to result in additional disclosures, especially on your budget versus actual. There are gonna be a lot more disclosures when it comes to that. And the management discussion analysis is also going to change a little bit. In terms of audit adjustments, we went through 4 of them. 2 were just reclassification for financial statement presentation purposes. There was one other to roll your fund balance forward, and one more just to present the no rollover on a gross basis. 2 others was just provided by Shannon, timing, just to accrue additional expenses when the invoice was available. But all in all, it was a clean audit. So if you have any questions or comments, happy to address those.
Questions? Wait. It was a good report. The committee was very happy with all that Jessica walked us through all of this in detail. So if everybody's good, I have a motion to approve the audit.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We've already received an update on the projects, so we will now recess up on the Development Authority meeting, reconvene the TIRZ meeting, and adjourn both the reinvestment zone number 16 and the Uptown Development Authority. Thank you all very much.
Do we get to keep this?